I meet the coolest people. And everybody has a story, and I'm kind of nosy, so I'll ask.
Homosexual. A lunch packer.
We hit coming out issues, we hit family issues, and those are always a little, serious.
I'm like Gandhi.
I feel like everybody should be represented. That's what I'm here to do. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi,
Yay.
Welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
And you look amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You look amazing.
I tried to go a little classier than usual. Cover up the board.
I don't see quite as much of you as I'm used to.
I want you to see my
I know,
eyes.
and it's working. It is definitely working.
It's working for you. Your career in film and television is quite diverse.
Yes.
You had a role on CSI
Yes.
Las Vegas.
That I love.
Love
You watch all the CSIs.
I love the CSIs.
And you played a showgirl on that. What was that like?
A real stretch.
Totally.
It was amazing because they actually came to Asia SF and they tried out all the girls, and in the script it said that the girl who I was trying out for was wearing a red dress, and none of the other girls got made up. They wanted to look very real. I thought, if I'm going to play a showgirl, I'm putting on a ton of makeup, and lo and behold, I was chosen. They flew me down there. They gave me a dressing room, and that started off pretty much everything. And then I got to do a documentary by the name of
Trantasia.
Right.
which was amazing, which led to Showtime, a reality show called Wild Things, which with Maria Roman and Tiara Russell, who are very famous transgender women. And then from there, I had a little foray, or a little part in porn. No, just joking.
Wait a second.
No,
We're learning right now.
I like to look like a porn star, but I didn't do porn. But from there, I also perform in San Francisco at the Sir Francis Drake with Donna Sachet.
Who we love.
We love Donna. And from there, I got to do a really amazing documentary called What's the Tea?
Mm-hmm.
And my good friend Cilio directed and produced it. And it's just amazing. It's kind of like Trantasia, 10 years later, where am I at in my life now?
And that's with 4 other girls.
4 other girls who are amazing, except for one of them, I won't name them.
So you've had all the success, which sounds absolutely amazing. Have you been able to share this with your family?
So basically, I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa. My father was a basketball coach and my mother was pretty much a homemaker. I'm from originally 4 boys, I was a third, and my name was Casey. So my father was very machismo. So when I first told my father at 17 that I wanted to be a woman, he said to me that you're going to be the ugliest woman and nobody is ever going to love you. Well, that really made me become the person I am today. 2 years ago, my younger brother, who I was the closest to, passed away in a car wreck.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was awful. Yeah. But the only positive thing that's come of it is it's brought us closer together. I didn't talk to
you and your father.
Me and my dad, me and my 2 older brothers. I mean, now I actually talk to my nephews and my niece. I send them gifts. I mean, I wasn't even included. So it's really a work in progress.
So it sounds like the person in your family that you were the most close to, not your dad, not the older brothers, but your younger brother, Corey. And he just died a few years ago.
Right. We have to understand, while we were having this horrific childhood, me and Corey were 14 months apart. We shared the same bedroom. So it was Corey and Casey. And in some way, Corey was like my baby. I know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was the older brother and I would look out for him, and I was really controlling with him because he was kind of, the kid who would go in and steal a pack of gum, and I would be like, no, don't do that. At least go get the licorice and the gum. But I looked out for him. And my biggest, saddest thing in my life is that he could not, a lot of kids aren't able to figure out how to live life as adults from abusive childhoods. Some of them don't make it. Some of them turn to drugs and crime, and that was Corey. He was a very sensitive, sweet, cute, rambunctious child who never had a chance because, my parents were, very self-involved. My mother had 4 kids in 4 years. She was spent. My father was an alcoholic at the time, but, I know they loved him, but he fell through the cracks.
Did you stay close with Casey throughout your
Corey.
Corey.
Casey,
Corey.
I'm very close to Casey right now. No, but Corey, I did. He went to jail, and it's kind of sad. I was going through my transition, and my dad was like, look, not to be rude, but we really don't want you to visit him because, I was looking kind of itty, and that kind of hurt. But I would always send him money. I would always write to him. And when he got out, I actually paid for him to come to San Francisco and see me at the Starlight Room.
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
And he'd never even been on a plane. And he was so excited. And I have pictures of that. And you can see in the pictures, he was such a character. Like, I'm a character, Corey was a character. My two older brothers are a little more reserved. And Corey was he wasn't meant for this world. You know, I mean, it's weird, but he was just so high-strung and lost. And I miss him and I love him. And I really am trying to make my life matter in the hopes that through me, he lives.
So as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking a lot about your transition. And I'm wondering if that's something that you're comfortable talking about. And if so, if you could tell us a little bit about what that has been like for you.
What transition? I mean, I'm natural.
Your boobs? Yeah.
From a little farm boy to a glamazon, a she-goddess, as I like to call it. Well, you know, it has been a long journey. At 17, like I said, you know, I told my father. Shortly after I moved out of the house.
What did you tell your father exactly? Did you know at that time
I had seen Maury Povich, and I saw a beautiful transsexual by the name of Tula, you know, who was like the famous kind of a Bond girl. And she was gorgeous, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be like that. Because nobody really wants to look like The World According to Garp, you know, John Lithgow, I don't know, you know, so I told my dad, and he, you know, his reaction was like, you're going to be the ugliest woman, no one's ever going to love you. You know, so after like I kind of took an overdose and they pumped my stomach, and I knew home is not where I felt good about myself. So I moved out, and luckily my mother had come back into my life at that point, and I got an apartment, and I started working. I started taking hormones, and slowly but surely, you know, I started changing, and I kind of got to an itty stage. And my best friend, who was a gay kindergartner teacher, told me, like, Cassandra, you need to leave. Well, first of all, how I got the name Cassandra is kind of funny. My name is Casey, and my mother's name was Sandra. And I always loved, you know, like Greek mythology. And I thought, Cassandra is such a beautiful, glamorous name. Yeah. Although my first name was Alicia, which is Alicia Fox, which sounds so the 80s stripper.
And when you go to a doctor, because you want to start taking hormones, how does that happen?
That was a nightmare. Okay, I went to a doctor in Iowa, and I said I'm transsexual. You know, I didn't know the terminology, so I said transsexual. Some people argue about transgender, transsexual. I just said transsexual.
Gender dysmorphia.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many labels, but essentially I want to live in the other sex I was born. And so he said, okay, hold on, let me go look it up on the internet.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yes, and this was the 90s.
You know you hit the right doctor.
Right. Yeah. So at that point, I was like, okay, they don't have a clue. So I had seen many performers come to visit, and they were from bigger cities, like, you know, Orlando, Florida. So I said, okay, I'm going to move down, because my philosophy was, if you want to be something, go be around it. Go learn from them. And that's where my journey essentially began.
For more about Cassandra's journey, watch the full interview, Cassandra Cass, More Than Blonde Hair and Big Boobs. Find the link below.
I'm gonna live life my way, starting today. I finally got 3 words to sing. I'm coming out. Say, one more time.
For more about Happy Hour with Cameron Stiehl, upcoming episodes and events, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For more stories and news about the LGBT community, go check out G News and Glitterbomb TV, both hosted by Celso Delay. And for even more, check out It's Everything with BB Sweetbriar and The Sex Talk with Mo and Genoa.